myself in the game. Nah, that calls it.
Epic has made some horrible changes in the past 7 years. Here are the top 5 fails, the last one definitely being the worst. I don't know who at Epic thought this was a good idea. There are clearly two issues with this change and they do somewhat interlink with each other. First one being all items in the game essentially feel the same. There is no token feeling. The feeling that you own something and it has a rareness attached to it is gone. The skins in the game cost at least $10 and as a buyer you should feel like you own the item, which is a different rarity to common items such as the default skin. Now to my second issue with this change, finding the specific skin becomes insanely difficult, as the skins are just jumbled around due to them being same rarities. The DLC skins usually would come first prior to the rarity change. For example, the DLC skins such as Marvel skins with red backgrounds, then the legendary skins would be listed, then all the way down to uncommon, so they will be in rarity order. For PC users currently, they can use the keyboard and mouse to search for that skin providing that they know the name for it, but for controller you have to pull up the keyboard and manually type and go to each letter, which is just more time consuming and players would rather just not do that at all. The reason why this change confuses me so much is that Epic are going to get less sales from the item shop. For some players, the rarities made them want to purchase a certain skin. Let me give you an example. So if you only had V-Bucks to buy one skin, but you wanted to make a decision between two skins that you are in between and you're 50-50, most of the time you would buy the skin with the higher rarity as it just feels more rare and unique. I explicitly remember Epic saying that this change is based on years and years of feedback and then they rolled out with this. People consider this the worst UI change ever and I totally agree with them. The discover screen where you actually select the game mode completely overwhelms the players. There is so much going on. Let's talk about how simple the UI to select the game mode was in the past. You would click on change the game mode and blocks of different game modes would pop up and you would pick whichever one you wanted to pick and play. But here is the thing, there would only be max 5 blocks because there would be max 5 game modes. 3 it would be solo, duo, squad, and it used to be creative or playground, and usually rare there used to be LTM. So it was simple, user friendly and would work always, and you would get to what you want to play very quickly. Whereas now it's as though it is a creative promotion section, as it's some type of advertisement going on. As soon as you open the discover section, you are just thrown in a mix of creative maps. I remember having difficulty finding the standard solo game mode. Overall, it just ruins the battle royale experience, as clearly there should be a different section for the creative related maps, as there are just infinite of them, not incorporated into the battle royale stuff. If you have played with the Infinity Blade, consider yourself an OG and let me know down in the comments below if you did play with it. And while you're down there, help a brother out and leave a like. Let's get back into the video. Now don't ask me how Epic thought adding an area splash damage that did 112.5 damage per second when people didn't even know how to build or defend themselves. They decided to add this obscure weapon to competitive in a $1 million tournament called Winter Royale. I'm sure you remember this. Let that sink in for a second. So they decided to add a splash damage, and not only splash damage, but you could, and your character when you had the sword would have an extra 200 max HP, so you would have a total of 400 HP with regen while you have the sword, meaning you were basically unkillable and invincible. Free movement in the end zone because you could dash with it, and you could have gotten in a plane with the blade, so even more movement. Having an Infinity Blade, even in the pro lobby, you would still guarantee yourself 15 plus kills and at least top 3. It was insanely broken and I just don't understand how it was even put into the game and whoever decided it. We all know this fail. If you don't, then consider yourself lucky. Now brutes or mechs, whatever you want to call them, were an interesting addition to the game. They tried to shorten the skill gap between the players, and let's just say it definitely didn't do that. Brutes had 1250 HP, so you would need to hit the brute around 38 times with a blue AR just to kill it, while it can jump around and has 2 seats, so you and your duo can sit in and one can shoot while the other one moves it around, making it harder for the enemy to shoot you. But you see, with the brutes, the issue was not how they were made, but how many of them were in the map. So there were so many of them in the map, they were legitimately borderline overspawning. So it was just mechs versus mechs. So when your brute would get destroyed, you would just jump out that brute and get in another one. Now the weapons on the brutes were something else too. Firstly, the ammo was infinite. It had missiles that would do 50 per hit, shotgun that would do 50 per hit with 10 in the mag, and self-destruct would do another 100. This received so much backlash that player counts in Season X plummeted down, and Epic instantly removed this the very next season. This mechanic is one of the best mechanics / features Epic has ever put in the game, and it just makes sense for there to be sci-fi. It allowed aggressive gameplay, which is a key aspect for any game. It made the game more fun to play and watch. It created insane clutches in the competitive scene, which are not possible without Siphon. It allowed the player with the better skill to win, well, most of the time. Third parties were more careful whether to rush or not, since the player could have just killed them both, gained another 100 HP, they'd be on a higher HP count. And eliminating a player would just feel more rewarding, promote aggressive gameplay again, instead of just camping around. When Epic Games got rid of Siphon, majority of the player count just started complaining on the platform such as Twitter, and people still do it to this day. That's all for this video though. If you did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you want to watch all the films in Fortnite competitive, then click on this video above.